Today we draw in perspective. And to draw in perspective is to draw something in 2 dimensions to give the illusion that it is in 3 dimensions. And what I mean by that is if I draw a simple house shape like this, very simple house shape, okay, that is in 2D. It's very flat, has no 3D-ness about it at all. Whereas if I start to create a shape here and a shape here, then it makes the house look as if it is in 3 dimensions, like that, okay? That's just with a house. What if we were going to do an entire street? So my assumption is all of you watching this will have stood at the top of a street in your life, and you will have looked down the street, and as you see all the houses going away from you, they will have got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And if you can learn how to draw that, then you will have a great understanding of perspective, and drawing things realistically in 3D will be very helpful indeed. So this is a very good practice to do for learning how to do that. And so what I'm going to do is to draw this street. I'm going to get a ruler, and we're going to draw a line across the page to create the horizon line. My paper is about 21 centimeters long, so I'm going to draw a dash here and then a dash here. And then I'm going to join the 2 lines together like that. Okay. And I'm using a light pencil. I'm using a 3H so that these lines, all these lines I'm going to be drawing are going to be preparing my drawing of the streets. We're imagining that we're not actually doing the drawing yet. This is just all the prep work. I'm going to bring back my ruler, and I'm going to draw a tiny dot about halfway, so it's just over 30 centimeters. So I'm just going to draw this dot, make it a bit bigger so you can see. So this line is the horizon line, and this is the vanishing point. If you've ever been at sea, if you've ever been on a ferry and you've seen where the sea and the sky meet, that is the horizon line. That's where the curve of the earth, everything curves over the earth and disappears, and that is what this is for. And the vanishing point is if we're drawing a street, all the houses are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger as they go away from this vanishing point and outwards, and it's going to be the same on this side as well. Okay, so what we need to do very quickly, we don't need to worry too much about this, is we're going to draw one line that is going to be from one edge of the paper to the other, and then the same on the other side. And we're going over the vanishing point. So now we have an X like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up this gap and this gap. So we're not going to bother with this bit and this bit, the bottom and the top, but in between we're going to add lots of lines, and they don't necessarily always need to meet the edges if your ruler doesn't meet all the way. We're just filling in lots of lines. Lots of lines like this. many as you can. One more. And there we go. And now we have loads of lines all coming from the middle, the vanishing point. And then from here, we can just start to work out where we want to put things. So I'm going to make, let me see, so I'm going to decide that the houses are going to start from about here and come away like this. Or most of them are anyway. And then I'm going to make this into a pavement, I think. This bit is going to be a pavement. And so the houses are going to start smaller and then get bigger as they come further away towards us. And I'm going to leave a gap here, because what I'm going to do is, these are going to be houses, and then this I'm going to bring in a bit of an opening. It creates something more interesting if we can see gaps, because the gaps help to give us the shape of the house, the object. One thing that's helpful to think in your mind is, if a surface is facing you, like this one, it is going to retain its natural shape, yeah? Because this is sort of rectangular, square-like, and it's even. This shape, obviously it doesn't look even, but if you were to face it from this direction, it would be the same sort of rectangular, square-like shape as this, but because it's facing away from view, it's warping and it's going further this way. So we've got that shape, and I'm going to give it a roof. Give it a bit of a roof, like that. And if you get really good, you can start to just work out where the perspective lines are without the need for all the lines all the time. And I'm going to make this house a bit higher, just to make it look interesting. In fact, let's bring it out a bit as well. And then this one over here will just be a normal roof, like that, and maybe bring the roof in like this. Okay, so we've got one roof facing that way, one roof facing that way. We're just trying to create some interesting shapes. And then this is going to become a wall. So I'm going to bring it in actually so that we can see the edge. And like that. And obviously, as you go, I'm not doing it because of time, you can create more lines if you feel like you need to. So this ends on that side, and then this is going to carry on here. So I've got another pavement here, and I'm going to do a few houses with gardens actually. So I'm going to bring the houses further out like that. Few gardens. So we're going to give some walls here to each of the houses. And I'm going to bring one of the houses, I'm going to bring a house out like this far. Again, just to try and make it interesting. So, and I do have a reference photo that I'm using to help me to get inspiration of how to do this. I've not actually looked at it really for most of the drawing, just because I'm trying to. I'm actually partly using another perspective drawing that I've done in the past as inspiration. But photos are great. Photos are really helpful to get those shapes down. And I'm going to make these all the same roof-wise. Okay, so there we have the basic shapes. So now we're going to go back in. I'm going to go over the lines I want. And start putting in some more of a shape to these houses. Okay, we're going to start adding other things. So I'm going to add a door onto here and some windows. And we're remembering that everything, as long as it's on a view surface going away from view, everything we are putting down is going to be warped. So the windows, the doors. If I was to put a window on here, however, it would retain its natural shape. Yeah. Perspective is one of the things that when I go into primary schools to teach children, that is one of the things that seems to be the most difficult for them to get. And in my mind now, because I'm able to sort of see perspective and know when something looks right or wrong, it's hard for me to kind of understand why they are thinking certain ways or wanting things to look certain. They'll draw perspective slightly wrong and they'll not realize what they've done wrong. And in my mind, I can see it straight away, but in theirs, they can't. And I think it's just you learn how to look. You learn how to see things properly. If you were to say to somebody, "What's this shape?" they would say, "Oh, it's a rectangle or it's a square." But really, it's not. Even if we were to see this in real life, that would not be the shape we're getting when we look at it. It's difficult when doing these videos to know how long to make them, because obviously I could spend hours and hours and hours on this, but I'm aware that people don't really want to spend that. And I'm also aware that what I'm trying to do is create skills and techniques that people can use and do in, you know, a short amount of time, because, you know, people don't really have all the time in the world to do art. It doesn't. I'm blessed to be able to spend lots of time drawing and working on ideas. But I'm aware people generally aren't in life because they've got other things to be doing. And so it's hard to gauge sometimes how much detail, how much time to spend on this. So we're just carrying on putting things in. And this house is further forward. And you just have to keep going, really. I'm going to carry on doing this drawing because I'm aware that we're over 15 minutes now. I'm going to keep going with this and then put up the final version of the drawing. But yeah, you just have to basically keep putting in detail and just be aware of what is facing the viewer and what is facing away from the viewer, and that will be helpful in you deciding how to draw your perspective, do your street in perspective. Have a go, maybe post up your attempt at drawing your perspective, and like, comment, subscribe, and keep going doing your drawings. See you later.